Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with a Mighty Jingles, and I've got a couple of replays for you today. The first one sent in by, I'll have a stab at pronouncing his name, Gabor Ferenc? I don't know. It sounds like something Eastern European. Romanian possibly? I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. But this isn't really about him in his T-34. He had a pretty unremarkable match. No, this is about the surviving tank on his team, the VK361H. And the 5 enemy tanks. Oh, he's just killed one. The 4 enemy tanks. Possible Kolobanov's medal coming up here. That he's standing alone against here on the airfield map. Now, 361H has got some tough frontal armour. And he's doing the right thing here. He's backing it up so that they can't get around him. Are you ready for a titanic battle? Can this guy win the match alone against, well, 5 enemies when he was the last one left on his team? He's already killed one of them. Strap yourselves in. Should be exciting. No. This is not that kind of replay. Watch this. That's some damn fine shooting text. That VK over there on 77 health, he's got the 75mm Konish gun, and he hasn't penetrated once. Oh wait, no, there we go. He has actually realised that shooting at the side of the turret is going to get penetration. But the other VK right in front of him... Oh, hang on, Bert the Avenger's just turned up, and he is actually trying to kill this friendly VK. But that other VK over there... I'm starting to wonder that he's not just that bad. But there's something sneaky going on. Bert dead. VK at the back with a Konish. Scores another hit. Surely he's dead now. But instead of taking the killing shot, the VK with the Konish over on the right pulls back out of line of sight and allows him to retreat once again. Get his back up against the wall, but here comes a T-150. Now he's dead. He only has 34 health. Oh well, no collar. Oh damn, that was unfortunate. Missed the. Well, he didn't miss the T-150. Hit the same spot again, and it ricocheted. Why is the T-150 not firing? And what's this VK in front of him doing? And where did the other VK go? Is your spider sense tingling at this point as well, or is it just me? It's mission rigging again, isn't it? Yes, of course it is. But what makes this remarkable is it's completely spontaneous mission rigging. None of these guys are in the same clan. In fact, none of them are even in the clan. It's just a bunch of heavy tanks left alive at the end of the battle who all suddenly decided to start bouncing shots off each other's armour in order to get their heavy tank missions done. I'm just going to pause the action here for a moment. Well, I hesitate to use the word action, but I can't think of a better word. And have a look at the battle timer at the top of the screen. 6 minutes and 45 seconds of this. Well, I hesitate to use the word battle to describe what it is that you're looking at, because in a battle you have 2 teams actually trying to kill each other, but there's 6 minutes and 45 seconds of this left. How long do you think these guys can keep this going for? Did anybody guess? 3 minutes! Yes, they can keep it going for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of just firing shot after shot into the turret cheeks of this VK361H. Did anybody guess 4 minutes? If so, give yourself a cookie, because with around about 4 minutes of this elapsed, I think one of them accidentally killed this VK361H. And yeah, and this battle was over. What do I think of this? Words fail me. I've got nothing. Don't know what to say. Let's see what you guys think in the comments. Coming up next, we have a skirmish mission. And I'm actually ashamed to admit, I don't exactly know what a skirmish mission is. I suspect this is the stronghold battles that you get if you're in a clan. Of course, I'm not in a clan in World of Tanks, so I've never played one of these. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the names of the guys who are responsible for these replays. We're just going to call them Dave and Bob. We've got Dave here in the T-37, and there's Bob in the AMX-12T. 6 versus 6. Straightforward stronghold battle. We're going to switch to Bob's perspective in the AMX-12T at the start of this match, because he's the source of most of the comedy at the beginning of this match. Bob decides to take his AMX-12T for a pleasant little Sunday afternoon drive here on the Siegfried Line map. Initially, he's trying to spot enemy tanks crossing the field over there to the west. He's in a light tank, good view range, good camera rating, seems like the logical thing to do. Doesn't initially spot anything. In fact, nobody spots anything. Dave in the T-37 hasn't spotted anything either. And so Bob starts to get bored. Bob, I wonder if we can get your tank in there. Oh, turns out you can. Watch out, Bob. Only one of your tracks has got traction there. It's going to tip you over. Back out. No, no, back out. Oh, bloody hell. Guys, guys, I've got a bit of a problem. Help. Meanwhile, Dave's been getting a bit bored, just spotting nothing over on the other side of the map. The enemy team are playing this very, very defensively, and so he comes over to see what all the fuss is about. Oh, Bob, what have you done? Now would be the perfect time for the enemy team to strike. And so, of course, they don't. A couple of enemy tanks, obviously getting really, really bored. I mean, have a look at how much of this mission has actually elapsed. Wondering where the hell the enemy team are. They've popped out. KV-85 just popped out for a quick look, which is kind of bizarre considering that there is a T-37 and a Type 64 on the enemy team, and the KV-85 is going forward to scout. And oh, they're all over here. What are they doing? I'm not quite sure. It looks like they're having a dance. Does somebody want to shoot at them? No, I don't think so. Could be a trap. So, old Bob is still wedged firmly in there, and the whole team are having a good go trying to get him out. Not having a huge amount of success, it has to be said, but still no sign of the enemy team. Just that KV-85 popped up. Then again, maybe we're being too harsh on the T-37 and the Type 64. They are, after all, light tanks. Just because we spotted a KV-85 doesn't mean that the T-37 and Type 64 aren't out there observing what's going on. And you have to wonder what's going on in the enemy team chat. Guys, I spotted the enemy team. What? All of them? Yeah. Where are they? They're over by this bunker up in the northern end of the map. Alright, what are they doing? I'm not sure, but it looks like they're building a fort. They're doing what? And they're actually asking the enemy team here in chat, guys, look, we flipped one of our tanks. Can you come over and give us a hand? And then we'll fight. And the bizarre thing is, it looks like the majority of the enemy team are actually, well, yeah, fine, why not? I mean, there's not an awful lot of fire coming in here. It looks like just that T-37, or possibly the Type 64 on the enemy team, put a couple of shots their way, and then nothing. I mean, they're all sitting here completely exposed. And there's very, very little going on. It looks like there's maybe one tank shooting at them, and that's it. So you have to give props to the enemy team for playing like complete gentlemen. It's like, okay, well, you got a problem with one of your tanks. You sort it out and let us know when you're ready. Which is very gentlemanly of them. Well, that's one interpretation. I mean, giving them the benefit of the doubt here. It could be that, I mean, remember, several minutes of this battle went by before we even saw one of the enemy tanks. It could be that they're all carrying at the back there, going, oh, there's far too many tanks. I don't like it. You go and have a look. Hell no, you're the curious one. You go and have a look. I went for a look and I got shot at. I didn't like it very much. But one way or the other, Dave and Bob's team are being left completely to their own devices, and they've almost, look at that. Oh, he's fighting valiantly. I mean, they've almost got him out of there. They're not going to get... How is this going to work? They can't get somebody else in there. Oh, hello. Bugger off, you. Can't you see we're busy? Get off my land. He's almost out. Can he free himself? Can they tip him from here? There we go. He's almost... Come on. Oh, it's so close. Come on, Bob. You can do it. Oh, 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 there it is. Yay! Right, now we can fight. And oh boy, are the enemy team going to be sorry. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being a gentleman in World of Tanks, and even going as far as giving the enemy team a chance to get all of their tanks sorted and in the right condition in order to actually have a fight. But if you're going to play like a gentleman, you'd better be damn good, right? Right, you'd better be confident that you're going to win. This enemy team, not so much. I have rarely seen such one-sided landslide victories in a game of World of Tanks as this. They just got wiped out in the space of about 2 minutes. Which doesn't seem fair. But you know what they say, all's fair in love and war. They also say, never give a sucker an even break. Look at this. It's like, but come on, give us a chance. We gave you a chance. Yeah, you did. Suckers! There's 2 of them left, although not for long. And now there's only 1 of them left, and this guy doesn't know whether to shit or go blind. He is just... Gentlemanly conduct on the field of battle might make a good story for the history books, but, well, it rarely makes a winner. Our final replay for today is courtesy of Squishy Manatee in the Object 430 here on Live Oaks. I love that name, by the way. I think it's fantastic. Squishy Manatee. Well, I suppose manatees are quite squishy, really, aren't they? Although I wouldn't like to have to put it to the test. Squishy Manatee in the Object 430. Tier 10 Soviet medium tank. It's got the highest DPM of any of the Tier 10 mediums. And yet it's just not very popular compared to the Object 140 and the T62A. And, well, the reason for that is it sacrifices that turret durability that the T62A and the Object 140 have for slightly better hull armour. It is a very low profile tank, and it's got a very, very good camo rating, better than the Batchat. And the best DPM of any of the Soviet Tier 10 mediums. But the turret roof is very, very weak, and it's got armour weak spots in the turret that the other Soviet medium tanks at Tier 10 don't have. And yet, while it's generally considered to be the worst of the Soviet Tier 10 mediums, being not quite as good overall as the Object 140 or the T62A is no real bad thing. It's still a very, very good tank. And I think a lot of successful Object 430 drivers would agree that it's not really so much that this tank isn't as good as the T62A and the Object 140. It's that this tank is harder to do well in. The skill cap is higher in this tank because of its weaknesses compared to its other Tier 10 Soviet brethren. And, well, here we go. Just watch this DPM. No fear whatsoever. Charges around the corner. He knows exactly what he can do to this guy. He's hit twice, 3 times, and that did not take very long at all. And look at the damage he took. Yeah. This tank, it's all about knowing what you can do and what you can't do. And I have to say, based on the strength of this replay, I don't think Squishy Manatee's got any problems whatsoever figuring out what this tank can and can't do. He utterly destroyed that Bulldog and nearly took 300 damage doing it. And that's what I'm talking about, knowing the limits of the machine, what you can do and what you can't do. Shot into the turret of the Leopard prototype there, which has almost certainly damaged his ammo rack. Kills himself a Centurion. How do you know he damaged the ammo rack of the Leopard prototype, Jingles? Well, I don't know it for sure, but the Leopard prototype's made of ammo racks. Every shot that hits this tank damages its ammo rack. And there's another shot, which means he's down a repair kit and he's still got a damaged ammo rack. I've got safe stowage on the loader for my Leopard prototype. I've fitted a wet ammo rack, and I go into battle with 2 repair kits, 1 premium, 1 non-premium, and I still finish the battle 20,000 credits down, having used, actually 23,000 credits down, having used both repair kits, and I still finish the game with a damaged ammo rack. That's just what the Leopard prototype's like. But check this out, lovely aggressive play. That's a Death Star! It's a Death Star up there with the medium tanks. Just fantastic stuff. So rare that you see it, but it's amazing when it happens. All too often, you see it down here on the southern flank on Live Oaks, crossing the railway bridge, when there's a whole bunch of tanks they just sit there playing peekaboo with each other over the ridgeline, and nobody wants to be the first one to go forward, and it's just so refreshingly good when you do see all the team getting stuck in and being aggressive and just going forward and dominating the enemy team like that. Of course, the downside of getting one of these kind of matches where your team just completely outclasses the enemy team and dominates them from start to finish is that you really have to struggle to get a decent result because everybody's farming damage on the enemy tanks. If you want to stand out from the crowd in the battle results screen at the end of the match, you really have to push the pace in a game like this and be aggressive to get that damage done. And that's where a lot of people fall over, because they are a little too aggressive and they end up biting off a little bit more than they can chew in the race to be top on damage done. And that's why, once again, it's all about knowing what your tank can and can't do. Because even though they're outnumbered, a Jaegeru and a Rheinmetall Borsig have very, very dangerous guns, and while you might have better hull armour than a T-62A and an Object 140, it's still nothing if a Jagdpanzer E-100 is pointing his gun at you. And you also have a weaker turret, so while you could possibly, thanks to angling and manoeuvring, expect to maybe bounce a shot from one of these big German monsters in a T-62A or an Object 140, it's probably not going to happen in the Object 430. Well, anything's possible, but it's unlikely. And I think this big old Jaegeru has decided I might be dead, but I'm taking you with me. He goes for the tracks. It takes 2 shots to take his tracks off. He burns the repair kits. He points the gun down. And he bounces. Yep, anything's possible. 299mm of penetration against 249mm of turret armour. And it bounced. Well, of course it did. It's possible that the Jagdpanzer E-100 fired into the turret roof. Possibly he knows how weak the turret roof of the Object 430 is, but he just didn't quite line the shot up properly and hit at an extreme angle. And Squishy Manatee lives to fight another day. Only 2 enemy tanks left. Oh, he's getting shot at from the town there. He's going to leave the IS-7 for the moment. Just kill this guy. And then it's back to the IS-7. Where do you think you're going, Sunshine? No, I don't think so. Stay there so we can kill you. And it is, in fact, the British Tier 10 medium with the 183mm gun, the FV215B183, proving once again that if you want to get any damage done in a game where your team completely outclasses the enemy team like this, you can't hang around at the back. The way the tank destroyers normally do, you've got to set the pace and keep up with the rest of the team. So, how did Squishy Manatee do in that one? Not too bad, actually. Ace Tanker, Confederate, High Caliber, and Top Gun. Hang on a minute. High Caliber. There's a Death Star in that game, and he got High Caliber. Yes, he did. He did 2,000 damage, more than the Death Star. Look at this. He scored hits on 12 different enemy tanks and did 7,200 damage. The Death Star, 5,200. The Death Star, there he is. I mean, look at that. Only fired 6 shots the entire game. It was over that quickly. 4 of those penetrated, 1 splash damage. 5,200 damage. That's just what those things are like. But he was only able to do that because he kept pace with the medium tanks. And if there's one clear indication that you've done well in World of Tanks at Tier 10, it's if you don't run a premium account and you play a Tier 10 match and you still manage to turn a profit. And Squishy Manatee has achieved that. Over 12,000 credits in the black. Well played. That's it for today's episode of The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.